just joined us on the System After Dark, this is a homegrown number courtesy of E3 and Cracker. Bulla, how's it going? I'm D, your host on the System After Dark, right here on Today FM. Today's hit music. You can catch me weeknights at 7 p.m. That's from Monday to Friday, only on the home of Today's hit music. And don't forget, that's D with you every weeknight on the System After Dark. Even got that homebrew flowing.
Good evening, this is FBC News. I'm Jackie Spade. In this bulletin, 16 men appear in Tavua court for inciting political violence. High Court revokes bail for 3 men charged with sedition in Lautoka. And Fijian Elections Office declares trade union elections null and void. There has been further developments in investigations into allegations of activities of a seditious nature in the Western Division. Edwin Nandes in Tavua. Edwin, what can you tell us?
Jackie, as of tonight, 19 men have been charged with sedition-related offences. The latest includes a group of 16 men who we now know appeared in the Tavua Magistrates Court this afternoon. They are alleged to have been involved in trainings of a seditious nature, and they have all been bundled into police vehicles and transferred to the Natambua Corrections Facility in Lautoka, where they will stay in remand for the next fortnight until their case is called on the 26th of August in the Rakiraki Magistrates Court. This is not the end as far as the Fiji Police Force is concerned. We have confirmation that more people will be charged and brought to court in the next 24 to 48 hours. I spoke with the Police Chief of Intelligence and Investigation, ACP Henry Brown, a little earlier on today, and he confirms that the search continues for more members of the group who are believed to be moving throughout the Western Division between Nandi to Tavua. As for the 16 men, they are tonight in remand at the Natambua Corrections Facility, where they will stay for their alleged involvement in meetings and trainings of a seditious nature. Back to you, Jack.
Lautoka High Court Judge Justice Thusara Rajasinghe has revoked the bail for 3 men charged with sedition and inciting communal antagonism. The Lautoka High Court today ruled on an application by the state to revoke the bail for Timothy Nangata, Peter Lambai-Moala Vakatawa and lawyer Saimoni Nadolawa. The state had asked for all 3 to be remanded in custody due to the seriousness of the charges and the ongoing police investigations. Justice Rajasinghe has ruled that police has to expedite the investigation into other alleged seditious activities and report the progress. The 3 men have been remanded in custody. The case will be called again for mention on Monday in the Lautoka Magistrates Court. A team of police officers led by the Chief of Intelligence and Investigations, ACP Henry Brown, has been working tirelessly in investigations into alleged seditious acts in parts of the Western Division. Brown says the main suspects in the alleged activities have been arrested. Ritika Pratap reports.
ACP Henry Brown was in Tavua this afternoon to brief senior officers investigating the seditious activities in the mountainous parts of the Western Division.
As soon as we had this information, police acted and we brought a team out from Suva to supplement the team from the west, and we had these people rounded up.
5 men were arrested and charged for offences related to sedition earlier in the week, and they appeared in the Lautoka Magistrates Court.
The movements of people have to be covered. That's why, and this is a serious offence, a serious case. It just demands our attention and the rate that we work.
The investigation is far from over as far as the police team is concerned. It will be some time yet before the officers return to their respective divisions. In the meantime, there is assurance to the public that there is no threat to security. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
A temporary suspension placed on produce exported from Fiji to New Zealand has been lifted. This was announced in the last hour by the Minister for Public Enterprise, Ayush Said Qayyum. Said Qayyum and other government officials met with officials from New Zealand's Ministry of Primary Industries in Nandi yesterday to discuss the impasse. New Zealand MPI had to temporarily suspend 4 important commodities from Fiji. These were breadfruits, papaya, mangoes and eggplants on August 2nd. However, they admitted they made an error suspending the 4 commodities as it was inappropriate. Still to come on FBC News, Sadri medical team suspended from operating on locals.
Ya bina boleh menonton apa cuma ini musim menonton bola FM 62 na seri na ngona ni ndende manda kay Central Rental sa pobe kada rusu ko minichi me ba na koloko. Ni sa bola.
Oya wa wati soni dalai.
Gonga ya musim don.
Nama kikirau mena tolu kena bitu. Ena via kabi, moliti kena porombuka.
Goria na lali ne kabi. Bola FM number 2 na seri.
The Fijian Elections Office has not proceeded with counting the ballots for the National Union of Hospitality, Catering and Tourism Industry Employees election that was conducted this week. Eleanor Turangaiviu reports the Elections Office has identified various issues that impacted the fairness and integrity of the election.
The Fijian Elections Office will investigate why some members of the National Union of Hospitality, Catering and Tourism Industry were not in the listing for elections.
The major reason is that the Fijian Elections Office received a listing of the trade union members from the Trade Union Secretariat, and we found that the listing was not up to date and contained numerous anomalies.
During polling, the Fijian Elections Office found that several members of the union who had paid subscriptions were not in the listing provided by the Trade Union Secretariat. The union listed 1,855 members for the Fijian Elections Office, whilst in its returns to the Ministry of Labour, it indicated 1,500 as valid members.
Which is a matter of great concern, as the returns to the Ministry of Labour was submitted late last week, and the numbers that the FEO has been operating with has been given to us since July.
Given the seriousness of the impact of the irregularities, the Fijian Elections Office says it is unable to proceed with the counting of the ballot. Due to the irregularities in the membership listing, the election failed to meet the minimum standards set by the Elections Office in conducting trade union elections.
At this stage, it is estimated that the number of persons who may have been deprived of the right to vote due to the non-listing as members may be close to 10% of the total membership submitted to the FEO, or even more, and this, ladies and gentlemen, warrants further verification and indeed an investigation.
The ballot boxes for the election will remain sealed and will be quarantined by the Fijian Elections Office. They will be kept in police custody and security until they are transported to the Fijian Elections Office secured facility in Suva. Eleanor Turangaiviu, FBC News.
Questions sent to the Trade Union Secretary General Daniel Urai remained unanswered. SODELPA President Ratunaingama Lalambalavu has expressed disappointment with the opposition officer's stand on the resignation of Mosese Tikoitonga as commander of the Fiji military forces. In a letter to leader of opposition and SODELPA leader Rote Mumukepa, published by the Fiji Sun today, Ratunaingama questioned the validity of the position taken, which he says was done without consultation with the party. He says every right-thinking person expected the opposition office to make a statement to show they were outnumbered in government resolved to make the acting appointment. Dated 3rd of August, the letter states that it appeared that Tikoitonga was forced to resign and that his diplomatic posting is strange and absurd. He also recommended that the opposition office change its stance on the matter. Opposition Whip Ratuisoa Tikoda says any statement made on the issue will be made by the opposition leader Rote Mumu herself. Opposition MP Dr. Biman Prasad says he will not comment on the issue as it is a matter within SODELPA. Less than half of Fiji's exclusive economic zone, or EEZ, is under surveillance. This was revealed by the Navy Commander John Fox, who made a submission before the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Foreign Affairs and Defence today. Maggie Boyle tells us more.
Fiji's EEZ is estimated at 1.3 million square kilometers, a wide sea area that even with surveillance by the Fiji Navy carried out 300 days a year, our borders remain vulnerable.
Our patrols in the EEZ, because it's an exclusive economic zone, is mostly to do with the economic side of things, because Fiji does not actually have a total sovereignty of the EEZ. It's only the sovereignty over the economic rights, sovereign rights. So most of our tasking is centered around fishery surveillance.
While making a submission for the ratification of several treaties, Commander John Fox spoke to 3 that would impact the Navy's operations: the Convention on the International Mobile Satellite Organization, the International Convention for the Prevention of Pollution from Ships, and the International Convention on Salvage.
An example is just pulling it away from an area that is ecologically sensitive to an area. And that is the only occasion where I see where the Navy will come into a salvage situation. And this convention actually provides us getting a monetary value for that, for the services that we have rendered to that ship to pull it away from the actual danger area.
Committee member Tapo Dranindalo questioned the Navy commander on the need for more resources.
It is reasonable to say that we'd like a bit more resources to be out there looking more in more places at once, and perhaps legislation, because one of the main concerns of the committee right now is conventions is pollution and protection of our marine resources.
Fox agreed that indeed more resources are needed. He also stated that the Navy supports without reservations the ratification of the treaties. The committee is expected to finalize its report and table it in Parliament later this month with a recommendation to ratify or not. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
A team from the Sahyadri Group of Hospitals in India has been suspended from operating in the country. Minister for Health Chone Usumate told FBC News the team needs to sort out some issues pertaining to its operation before it can continue. Savannah has more.
The surgical team from Sahyadri Hospital in India has conducting surgeries on a voluntary basis in the country since 2012. The Ministry of Health has suspended its scheduled work here after it identified some issues regarding its operation.
For the time being, we said just to suspend further services until we can sort out these particular issues. Because at the end of the day, we want to make sure that everything is legal and proper. At the same time, we want to be sure also that if there are going to be services provided, that our ultimate concern is the care for our people.
Chone Usumate says they are in talks with the Sahyadri Hospital officials in India and they are waiting feedback from India before the team can start their operation here.
Rather not get into it, get into the details, because we need time to discuss and sort things, issues. We are not preempting things. There are issues there, legal issues and issues to do with the quality of care that will be provided. Once those issues are sorted out, then prepared to make a more detailed statement.
Over the years, the Sahyadri team has performed a lot of successful surgeries in the country. Last year, it performed operations on more than 20 patients. Sabera Tambua, FBC News.
An art exhibition is being held in Suva to raise funds for the Hilton organization, which provides education and related services to children with disabilities. President Ratu Epeli Nailatikau opened the exhibition last night and said there is no greater cause than to lend a hand to people who are genuinely in need. Ellen Stalls has the details.
Some of the finest paintings by local artists, including children with special needs, have come alive in the exhibition at the Suva Playhouse. President Ratu Epeli Nailatikau acknowledged that the country has come a long way in terms of helping and addressing problems that are faced by persons and children with disabilities.
This follows the global shift to view disabilities and services provided to persons with disabilities from a rights-based perspective and not from a charity-based angle.
The exhibition is being held for the second year in a row.
The progress that we have made as a nation in the area of caring for disabled has been due in a large part to the efforts of Mr. and Mrs. Hilton.
The Hilton organization operates the Hilton Special School, the Hilton Early Intervention Center, and the Hilton House Hostel. There are about 130 children who are assisted by the organization. 20% of the proceeds from the art exhibition will go to the Hilton organization towards the various projects they have to help persons with disabilities. Ellen Stahls, FBC News.
Airports Fiji Limited today paid a dividend of $15 million to government and anticipates more to be added on to this by the end of this year. AFL Chairman Faiz Khan says last year the company made a profit of $7.5 million and has recorded an interim dividend for the first 6 months of this year, which amounts to $7.5 million. Khan says since declaring a $1 million profit in 2011, the company has increased dividends to government through sheer hard work.
This is the result of a major restructure of our revenues that we undertook about a year ago, and that has come to fruition.
We need to do more and spread joy to our elderly people. Miss FBC 2015 Alicia Marau says this while visiting the Samumbula Senior Citizens Home today.
Wear it so that you're not cold.
Miss FBC says our parents and grandparents were there when we needed them the most, so this is the time we can give back to them.
To raise awareness and tell the youth about the responsibility that we have towards the elderly people in our society. So what we have achieved by coming here to these people, to this home, is that we've spent a few minutes with them, with each of them, we've given them gifts.
More than 20 FBC staff visited the Samumbula home delivering clothing and bedding contributed by members of the concerned public after an on-air campaign to assist the elderly. Miriama Bambaudha, the welfare officer at the Samumbula home, says the gifts given by Miss FBC praised those who contributed.
I commend them. I really appreciate the ways they are taking their time, giving their money, and giving their commitment to donate things for the elderly. These elderly people, our mothers and fathers, they already contributed to the nation.
99-year-old Benina Virivesi, the oldest resident, has resided in the home for 6 years. She says today was the most memorable day. Julie Vatualiwali, FBC News.
We turn to sports now. Here's Jamie with the latest.
Nakazaki, and good evening. Coming up in sports, 40 players from the West to compete in Nandi Club snooker competition this weekend. And we take a look at the Flying Fijians who are back in camp today. These stories and more after the break.
छू 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 हे हे नमस्ते फीजी, आपके हर एक प्रॉब्लम की दवा लेकर मैं आ गई हूँ 9 से 12 बजे तक आपकी सहेली रेनू। छू 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 40 में 20 का दिखना है। मैं हूँ ना आपके साथ में मिर्ची एफएम पर 9 से 12 बजे तक मंडे टू फ्राइडे। मिर्ची, इट्स हॉट।
The Vodafone Flying Fijians, who are back in camp today, went through another fitness test as its build-up to the Rugby World Cup continues. With some positions in the squad yet to be finalized, Coach John McKee is keeping a close eye on players ahead of the team naming next Friday. Indra Singh has more.
It was all down to struggles in order to reap a spot in the Flying Fijian squad for the World Cup during the first fitness test today.
Fitness testing today, I see an improvement from the start of July when we got together before the Maoris game. So we've made good progress over July, but now we'll need to step it up again, and I guarantee the boys will be fitter again by the time we leave on the 31st.
McKee has a full stock to choose from and says while some positions are confirmed, the door remains ajar for others.
Some positions, yeah, it's quite clear, but there are still a number of positions we're looking at, and we're looking closely at these fitness testing and training over the next couple of days.
The camaraderie within the squad is something which was evident during the tests as all players pushed each other on.
9-1.
Day
one of the final camp for the Flying Fijians as they get ready to name their 31 next Friday for the Rugby World Cup. These boys are determined to prove to the coaches they deserve a call-up to represent the Flying Fijians at the Rugby World Cup in September. It's not going to be an easy task, but they know they are here for the nation of Fiji. Indra Singh, FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, Gabriel Olombolavo and Napoleon Inalanga were not part of the fitness test today. Both players are still nursing injuries sustained during the Pacific Nations Cup and are on the mend ahead of the final team naming next week.
Yeah, some niggly injuries from the PNC, just getting over. They were running today but didn't want to do the turning and the yo-yo test, so we'll just keep monitoring those guys over the next couple of days and make an assessment next week as to for the final selection.
Meanwhile, Vodafone Fiji has come up with another avenue for local fans to get behind the team for the World Cup. The mobile company today launched the Alcatel One Touch Pixie 3 phone. $10 from each purchase will go towards the rugby fund, which will support the national team at the World Cup in England.
Our drive is to wish these boys all the best, and we encourage all Fijians to take part, be part of the drive. Let's support the Flying Fijians. We've also opened up an M-Pesa business account to FRU, which means you can contribute or donate through M-Pesa, even $1, doesn't matter.
The Flying Fijians depart for the World Cup on August 31st. The Sukuna Bowl Organizing Committee received an early boost today from Vodafone Fiji. Police Commissioner Ben Huneveld, who was on hand to receive the $20,000 check for the competition, also took the opportunity to remind the public of the benefits of such sport competitions.
Sport can unite people, and I am in agreement with that. And thank you very much again. It is indeed for us a privilege to be part of the Sukuna Bowl. It is one of the major sporting events within Suva, and we're looking forward.
The annual tournament will be held in Suva on October 14th to the 18th. 40 snooker players from the Western Division are registered to face off for the Gibson Freight Nandi Club Open 6 Reds Championship title on Sunday. However, organizers confirm that more players are still showing interest and they will accept all registration until Saturday. Josephine Avula has the details.
The venue is ready for the much-anticipated local snooker tournament in the jet-set town of Nandi.
It will be a very high-class game because we'll be having not only Nandi Club snooker players joining us, it will be people from all around Nandi and interested people outside the town. So I think it should be a good game.
Tournament Secretary Rahul Singh says the competition is being held after a long time.
We have organized tournaments before, but maybe this is one of the first this year, sponsored by Gibson Freight of Nandi and Ashwin Sami. They have shown interest and to let the players or participants of snooker interested people to come around and show their skills.
Games will be played at 2 venues because of the limited number of tables at the Nandi Club. The other venue is at the Nandi Sports Club and the games begin at 8 a.m. on Sunday. Josephine Avula, FBC Sports.
Defending champions of the National Club Championships football competition, Civic of Suva received some sponsorship today for its 2015 campaign. Civic, which won the NCC and also the Suva Club competition last season, received $3,000 in cash and jerseys from Professional Security Services. The club will use this backing for club games and also if it qualifies for the NCC later this year. The Civic side is made up of a number of Suva football reps. That's it from sports this evening. It's back to Jackie now with business.
The agreement for the Old Nausori market is being finalized and will soon be handed over to the operators of Shop and Save Supermarket to develop the old site. Savara Tumbua has more.
It will take 6 months to complete the technical work and an additional 1.5 years for the $40 million project to be completed.
Good to know that the private partner has already commenced with the technical works. The preliminary survey works they have already carried out and they are currently working on the landscaping, etc. to submit it to their architect for ways to go forward in the next level of technical studies.
Special Administrator Azam Khan says the project will benefit the people of Nosori.
Something to very much create another spillover benefit to the people of Nosori and the town center. And once the project is completed, we believe that it will stand as a landmark property at Nosori, and it will also create an atmosphere where the others will also very much develop their properties and take it to another level which the people will be able to enjoy in totality.
Once construction is completed, there will be a new multiple-story building that will have cinemas, accommodation and a convention center. Sabara Tambua, FBC News.
Fine and windy weather conditions prevailed over the country today. A trough of low pressure remains slow moving over Tuvalu and extends southeastwards over Wallis and Futuna, Samoa and Southern Cooks. Maximum temperatures remained well below 30 degrees today. Savo recorded 24, Suva 25 and Nandi and Lautoka managed a high of 27. Forecast to midnight tomorrow for the Fiji group, fine apart from brief showers about the interior and eastern parts of the larger islands, cool nights, rough seas. Outlook for Saturday is some showers over most places. And the main points again. 16 men appear in Thabua Magistrates Court for sedition and inciting political violence. High Court revokes bail for 3 other men charged with sedition in Lautoka. And the Fijian Elections Office has declared the Union of Hospitality, Catering and Tourism Industry Employees elections null and void. Now to our poll segment. This week we're asking, do you think Fiji underestimated its pool opponents at the Netball World Cup? Visit our FBC website to take part. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page, FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. You've been watching FBC News. I'm Jackie Spade. Good night.